cheese bread is great. So okay,
I do love some cheese bread.
For a second. Do you like? Is it like a loaf with a bunch of cheese on top, or is it those? Do you have like long submarine?
I'll take it. Oh, dude, the long submarine with like the cheese and like
cheese sticks.
Texas toast.
Yes.
Texas toast.
Dude, my high school was so cheap. One of the greatest days though was Italian Dunkers, and all it was 2 string cheese, 2 breadsticks, and a cup of sauce, and that was it.
That was lunch.
That was lunch. In our breast milk.
Wait, 2 cheese
Milks.
strings, 2.
You say breast milk?
Then you guys remember we talked about this? The bags of milk that I had, they look like.
Oh, I have bags. Milk bags?
Did you have milk bags?
No, I did not. I have cartons. We had cartons.
No.
I did. And then New York was like, nah, we're gonna have bags.
3-liter bags.
I do remember this.
Oh crap! You know what? Now here, I gotta get in here because Conrad's not in here right now. I didn't add him to this, so he's probably like, oh, well, he's not there anyways. I was saying he's probably like, what is happening?
I gotta say, I think bags of milk is wild. That's
He's had headphones on the whole time.
You guys don't even get. You don't ship them across the lake to you?
I don't know, man. Probably floated him over.
Oh, it's Spider Joe.
Anyway, Spider Joe, what's up, dude?
Spider Joe.
Oh, I'm eligible for the 2-in-1 rival spray.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, there's new Twitch drops.
Yeah, I always get it just from watching our own stream when we do the podcast.
I think I gotta log in with my own. You know what? I haven't gotten the Twitch drops. We're talking about the Twitch drops though on this one.
Did you the Hella one? I got 2 hours left on Hella.
The first Hella, or is there a new Hella? Hey Matt,
there's new stuff, man.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Oh, is Matt in again? Hold up.
There
we go. See, patience.
Not seeing what else there is.
I'm not showing him on screen yet. Hold on.
Matt figures it out.
Hold on, Matt. I'm getting you. Heyo.
Matt, you forgot talented, Toxic.
Hello, Matt.
Yo.
There he is. Heyo. Nice. All right.
Episode 17?
17.
Yes, 17, man. Crazy,
1 billion.
Right? What am I doing?
I'm in ads.
Lord, here we go.
How am I in ads? My ad blocker's on.
Ads.
Put this.
Someone's got to make money.
Oh, we ain't
It's
mad.
not gonna be us. It's gotta be someone.
Jeff,
what's going on, chat?
Chat, what's up? All right, I got that going. Did you put up in our Discord, Neil? That we're live?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right, well, guys in the chat, what is up? So obviously Conrad's with us here. You can tell because he's on the screen. He's here. But yeah, we're gonna have a good one tonight. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about, and of course, got to hear from Conrad, man, about his history in podcasting and how he got rolling here and found his way to Rivals. And Matt's back too, so bringing the dumps.
Full house tonight.
I'm sorry, Matt. What was that?
I think I'm gonna take some PTO.
Reading material.
Okay.
Some PTO.
All right, Conrad, talk real quick.
Hello.
All right.
Check 1,
Talking.
2. Check.
Okay.
All right. Trying to mess with. I think Matt. I'm gonna bring you down just a little bit. Matt, talk again.
My name is Matt, and I work in a mat factory, and I make mats, all types of mats, bath mats, desk mats, game mats,
Peppermint mats.
Peppermint mats.
All right, I think we're good. All right, dudes, ready? So remember, Conrad, like I said, you're not going to hear the intro music.
Oh, we didn't send it to him.
But you can feel free to rock out.
I'll just play it in my head. Yeah.
There you go. All right, you guys ready?
Do it.
All right, let's do it. Episode
Send
17. Here we go. Yeah, you know what time it is. That's right. It's time for Rivals Assemble, a Marvel Rivals podcast. I am your host, Mark Turcott, and you are tuned in to episode 17. Well, my friends, we are 1 week into the release of season 1.5. And how you doing with it? Have you been clobbering timing? Have you been flaming on? Well, we're going to be talking all about it here today, giving you our 1 week in impressions. Plus, we have some new skins, some new Twitch drops. We have a huge Wolverine lore dump, bud. And we even have a guest to do it with us. So first up, Neil. Neil, what's up, dude?
Berserker Rage! Logan's coming tonight.
He is. He was going to maybe be here last week, but he wasn't.
No, it's so much that we had to delay it, and it's going to be great. I'm excited to be here and looking forward to another good one.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Also joining us, Kens. Kens, what's up, dude?
What's going on? I'm a little disappointed you didn't make a "here's the thing" joke like everyone else on the internet.
How old is that getting?
Here's the thing. You can
I
always
was honestly counting.
We all immediately get triggered by it. I love it. Like, that was
I was
hilarious.
counting on you.
Yeah, but seriously, we'll talk about it. Also here, welcome back to the show, Matt. Matt, what's up, dude?
You're clobbering timing it? What? What kind of English is that, Mark? What about the people who listen to this podcast to learn English as a second language? Come on.
Well, if they're learning
Clobbering in it?
clobbering in, hey man, I'm making my own words up.
In.
So glad you're back, Matt. So glad you're here.
I know.
And also, guys, we have our first guest here on the show from the Marvel Rivals Review podcast, Conrad Gunther. Conrad, what's up, dude?
Not much, guys. I'm really happy to be here. I'm super excited you reached out, caught me off guard, but I love it. I'm excited to make friends amongst the podcasting community. It's great.
I'm telling you, man, I said it on last week's episode. Like, we got to stick together as podcasters. It's like, you got all these, TikTokers out there, the YouTubers, all that. Us podcasters, we got to stay together, man. We got to look at Matt making faces. What, Matt? What?
Nothing, Mark. I got to keep going. You're doing great.
But yeah, Conrad, we are really excited to have you here tonight, man, for sure. Like I said, it's great to have, other Rivals podcasts out there, because I know everybody, when you're at work or working out, whatever you're doing, you want to hear about your favorite game, and podcasting is the best way to do that. So we're definitely glad to have you here. Let's just jump into a little bit with you, man, and talk about like what got you into wanting to do a podcast about Rivals.
Yeah. So no, I've been an Overwatch player for a long time. As Marvel Rivals came out, I was starting to hate Overwatch more and more, and myself for continuing to play it, kind of deal.
Respect.
And as when I got into the Marvel Rivals beta, I fell in love with the game immediately, and I just wanted content for Marvel Rivals, and there just wasn't any at the time. So I'm like, you know what would be a good idea? It's like me and my buds start a podcast, and now it's an excuse for us to get together every 2 weeks and hang out.
Nice. So, I mean, had you podcasted before this, or this is the first show you guys have done?
We attempted just a very small thing, a couple years ago that we just fell through almost immediately. But no, this is pretty much the first. We're kind of winging it and seeing how it goes, learning a lot. You guys are actually, I get a lot from you guys and how you run your show, and I try to incorporate some of that into my own.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad we could be there for you, man. And any questions you ever have, obviously, throw it our way for sure. Because we love to help out the fellow podcasters out there. But so you said you were a big Overwatch.
Just wing it.
Yeah. Half the time, believe me, this
Neil's always phoning it in.
Yeah,
But to be fair, he's
it,
a country away.
Yeah. So you said, you were into Overwatch. I mean, did you play Overwatch like from launch and all that, and get into the competitive side of that, or?
No, I didn't play it from launch. I actually joined probably 2 years into Overwatch, 2019. I know that because it's when I got out of the Navy. I started playing Overwatch. And then I had maybe an unhealthy relationship with Overwatch. I enjoyed the game so much because nothing is as fast. When you play like Call of Duty or something and you die, you're dead forever. Or Valorant, I can't stand waiting. And Overwatch and Marvel Rivals, that has that constant,
right,
in and out, constant feeding. So
nice. Well, awesome, dude. So, all right. Well, glad you're here, dude. We got some fun stuff to talk about. A little bit of housekeeping here before we get going here. As always, guys, if you want to follow us, you can do that over on Twitter or on Blue Sky at Rivals Assemble. Big what's up to everybody over on Twitch and YouTube watching us live here over at Rivals Assemble Pod on both those platforms. We do the show live generally Thursday night, depending if something special is going on around 10 o'clock p.m. So big what's up to you guys tuning in
Eastern.
live over there. And of course, big thank you to all all our audio listeners over on iTunes and on Spotify. You guys are great. And if you're listening over there, please continue to leave us reviews. And, of course, on Spotify, leave us a comment over there. We love seeing the comments. You guys make our day. And it's really the best way to send in a question to hear it here on the podcast at the end of the show. Of course, you can also email us, rivalsassemblepod@gmail.com. And if you want to talk to us every single day and join some other like-minded folks, we have our Discord that we officially launched, which, guys, we are so close to 100 members of the Discord. So you can find that link in the show notes, or if you are tuning in live, I think if you do the, little exclamation point, Discord will pop up over there. If you guys are tuning in live, you want to join that, you can go ahead and do that as well.
One thing with the Discord, for this season, they started a couple groups, factions.
Yeah.
So they are looking for members. If you're looking to join up and join in this tournament, they've got an NA group, and I think we're hitting Europe as well. So
international
looking for members.
And even if you don't really want to play, but you just want to get that achievement, in-game achievement,
that's number one.
I know that's what most people are doing it for, is to get that achievement. So that's a great way to do that too. Is just get a faction.
We've got a bunch of dirtbag caps who get together and talk together.
You
about
get
how
out of here.
No, I say that lovingly because they're great guys.
Yeah.
But talk about, I called them out. I was like, so you're the ones who make my life, horrible as a backline strategist. And they're like, yeah.
Yeah, our Vanguard channel in the Discord
very
quickly became just the Captain America channel. And it was like, I don't know what it is, crazy.
I respect that as a Captain America player myself. That's an alpha chat interview out there, so.
I muted that channel. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's see. All right, so let's talk about our recent poll, guys. So again, over on Spotify, we run polls every single episode, and we've been doing here the last couple of weeks on the maps, the best maps. So last week we asked you what map is the best convergence map. And let me get that pulled up here real quick.
Today.
Yeah, so we had Symbiotic Surface,
so close,
Shin Shibuya, or Hall of Jalia. And dude, by one vote, the winner, Shin Shibuya, with 46 garnering 37.4% of the vote. Coming in second, the Symbiotic Surface with 45, and then the Hall of Jalia at 32. So what do you guys think? You think that's
I think I voted for Shin Shibuya.
Again, best name in the game, I think. Shibuya.
Yeah, we talked about that too. And I also voted for that map, and it's great. It's got the corridors, or the alleyways, and you get to see a few different spots, and $20.99.
The Master Weaver or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know, man.
I think Symbiotic Surface has got the better gimmick with the symbiotes.
Yes, me too.
Where Shin Shibuya just has the spiders that web things up towards the ceiling.
I would say maybe the more balanced map is Shin Shibuya, but I think I've had more memorable fights in that throughout the Symbiotic Surface. I mean, how many times has there been like the Doctor Strange portal in the first control point? Everybody's had that happen where if you're attacking and the enemy team pushes too far forward and you're just outthinking them, you're Doctor Strange. So, there's been times where we've literally just been on the control point and the other team is basically at our spawn and we're like, what are you guys doing? Like, we're just back here taking this. But then once you kind of get inside and you have the little corridor that turns, and then when you get to that end point, I've had some ridiculous fights. There's that archway of, I don't even know what I want to call it, like symbiotic bones or whatever it is.
The little tunnel.
Yeah, like right when you come out the door. What is it?
Do symbiotes have bones if they
have teeth?
I don't know.
They have teeth. Or is that
Do
just
they have
like
teeth?
hardened
Comics.
slime?
Yeah.
There's on that map on the Symbiotic Surface there towards the end of the second point. When people are retreating or giving up space in the last fights there's that wall that gets me every time. that just shuts off. So
yes, dude. I've had that happen. It's like, no. Yeah.
You're trapped with me now.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't want to say I haven't learned where those are, but like I really haven't. Like I've been the victim of many of that, but like I couldn't tell you like if I was going out of my way to purposely trigger one of those walls. Like I just couldn't. I don't think I could come up with it. But a lot of times it's happened. And that can win the fight for sure.
Have you guys seen that meme of it's like the mom with her kids in the pool, and the mom is playing with the one kid, and they're having a lot of fun, and then in the background, the other kid is like treading water for his life and like about to go under. The mom and the little kid in this case are us and Shin Shibuya and the Clintar service, and then the little kid, you know, in the background is the Hall of Dajaya, just kind of like fighting to survive. We love you. We'll turn around and notice you eventually.
It's actually a pretty good map too.
Yeah, I think the problem with it's
not
the
good enough to
gimmick.
vote for.
Yeah. It's like when the gimmick spawns that the fire god shows up and you're just swinging away on Spider-Man and a fireball hits you from the ground and you're like, well, I'm dead.
You can't put a symbiote in anything and not expect me to vote for it. So that's really
respect.
That's really all that I needed.
Symbiotes. I forgot symbiotes are middle name.
It is.
So next week's poll, we're doing the battle of the map. So what is the best map in the game? So you have, of course, Tokyo 29, Shin Shibuya, the Convergence map. You have Tokyo 2099, Spider Islands, the Convoy map. Or the Domination map, the Eastgard Royal Palace, which is, I'm giving that a negative vote. To that.
How many options do we have? Is it just 3?
Just the 3, because we're not going to throw in Central Park. Central Park is the only map that was not in anything. Unless you guys think, I mean, I know last week.
I'd say throw a wild card in there, but if you don't want to, I'm
But
cool
it's the new hotness. So isn't that like kind of just going to win by default?
It is fire.
It is pretty.
This is very good.
Point exactly, Conrad.
Fine.
So let's roll with this because believe me, we're going to be voting on this again at some point. And it'll have its day in the sun for sure. So again, go over to Spotify. If you click on the episode, you will see the poll on there. Go vote. And again, Eastgard Royal Palace, Tokyo 2099, Spider Islands, or Tokyo 2099, Shin Shibuya. Let us know what you think is the best map. And next week we will tell you who
your vote matters.
But
really, in this case.
So let's talk about our week in games. And Conrad, because you are the guest here, I want to throw it to you, man. How was your week in game? Are you digging the new update and the new heroes?
I'm absolutely in love with the Human Torch. I've been grinding him. I've been bouncing between Diamond and GM with him. But I have a feeling that eventually I'm gonna break through and hit that Celestial. I have hope.
Wow.
I believe.
Nice. You think this season? You think it's going to actually happen this season?
I think it depends. I'm a world-class tilter. So
you fit in just right here.
It really depends on how my meditations for that day go.
Nice. Now, do you use the tactic? Because I know some of the people in our Discord, and I've seen people say this, like, if you lose a game or a couple in a row, do you like log out of the competitive playlist and go play quick play or wait, or you're just like jumping right back in and ready to go?
No, I send it. I full send it. I'll throw a whole rank.
I love that. Yeah,
that's great.
I have a question for you. What kind of tilter are you? Because myself, I go quiet and I mute, and like 1 or 2 matches down the road, I'll hear like a Matt, are you okay?
And are you on mute?
Buddy?
I blame the supports. And but I always tell my chat, and I always tell everybody, it's like, I'm just saying this to cope. I've always known I'm the problem.
I mean, you got to let it out somewhere, right? You got to blame somebody.
Yeah, so, I just don't put it in chat. Don't put it in chat. Just say it. Just say it to yourself.
Now, do you play? Are you on PC or?
Yeah, I have a PC gamer.
Gotcha. Okay,
Conrad, where do you stand on health packs?
Oh God,
health packs?
Here we go.
Learn where they are.
Oh.
They're important.
Wow.
Yeah, and pick them up.
Yep, and pick them up. Yeah. Those are super important. And like they heal a lot too. They do a ticking.
A lot,
Really?
Mark. A lot.
I hear.
Wow.
Yep,
This
that's
coming
what I've
from,
been
like,
told.
someone who's about to be celestial. Wow.
Wow. Okay, I'm taking notes. I'm taking my notes
Might
over
know
here.
a thing.
It's the only reason we had you on the show, Conrad, so I can learn how to use health
All right,
packs.
I'm glad to
Literally
be
the
here,
reason why.
thank
What about you, Neil? How was your week in game, man?
Oh, pretty good. I love having the new missions. I know someone doesn't like it, but I do like having the missions because it gives me a chance to play heroes I don't usually play. So a lot of it's Fantastic Four based, with the events part of it. So I was hitting them up whenever I could. Obviously, Thing and Human Torch are getting taken pretty quickly. Sue Storm, I'm starting to like her a lot. I kind of fell off her after the launch of season 1, but I played her a few times. I had a lot of assist quests to do, and she helped me with it a lot. So enjoying her as a support. We'll see where that goes.
Nice. What about you, Kens?
Yeah, I played a bit of competitive this week. Not too much, as much as I did since I hit my goal of gold. You know, we're gonna chill there and be real happy about it. But no, I've been playing a lot of Magneto. He got a slight buff a little bit with his his big burst
Ranged
attack. I don't know what you call it. So I have been, and then his shield is taking more as well, and so I've been more haven't died as much and been slaying with Magneto.
Nice.
And so it's felt really good. So I've played a couple of comp matches and I'm working my way through gold, but I have really enjoyed. I've played more quick play this week than comp, so I kind of made that switch. And doing the missions, I like it whenever they add kind of the event missions to get back in there. And I played a lot of Squirrel Girl because there's kind of a mission for her in there. And that was my first time playing Squirrel Girl since this game came out.
Wow.
Which is really surprising because in Overwatch, my main DPS is Junkrat. And I don't know why I ever I just did not ever pick up Squirrel Girl. And she's awesome. She rips.
Yeah.
And I was just annihilating with her in some of those games.
She's great, dude, just for constant, just a steady DPS. You may not always be taking enemies out, which usually you do, or you're getting, assists, but just a steady stream, which, I mean, Junkrat, same way in Overwatch, right?
And that event where it was like ensnare, whatever it is, 10 people.
10 of them.
It makes you realize when you're focusing on that how often you can really do that. It's like she can throw that out and then reset, throw it out, and by that time the first cooldown's pretty much reset. So you
it's
just
like constant.
Keep throwing them nuts.
Don't forget, if you have a Spider-Man there too with the team up, you can just keep a tank locked down in one place.
Oh. Yeah. So what does her team up ability do? Is that another snare?
Yeah, it's another snare. She winds up. She winds up like the acorns and throws them.
Nice.
I didn't get as much time to play this week as I wanted to, so I was pretty much just logging in every day just to get the missions done, and that was it. I don't know. Did you guys read the lore bits of the event that you unlocked this week?
I read the Black Panther one.
I was just gonna say I don't want to spoil anything yet. I think next week maybe we'll go through some of those. The Black Panther one is awesome.
It's very cool.
So there is some very cool lore. That's what I love about these events is they just are continuing this story, progressing through. But yeah, I think the Black Panther one was the first one. I think it's the first
because I read that too.
Yeah.
I think
and it's not even an event. It's just like you go to Black Panther's character and you read the lore. From that.
Yes.
And,
yeah.
But there's a mission that tells you in the event to go and read it. Go and read Black Panther's lore.
Yep.
Yeah, I was really impressed by like the way the new map just tells the story of what's happening way better than any of the previous maps has. Like Central Park with Blade spawning in there on the third point, and you're freeing Rataskar or whatever. I can't remember the squirrel's name.
Ratataskar.
You free them at the beginning, and then you use them like to help break the Dracula spell at the end of the map. It's just so good.
Yeah,
it's crazy stuff happens there. Like it's kind of like a rebuild, like the Eastgard maps, where the tower just completely gets demolished sometimes, and then it just comes back together. I don't know what the lore of is there, but something else I noticed when we were messing around with the map, you go to your X-ray vision or whatever the thing to see what's destructible. Some of the stuff is red, so I don't know if that the red stuff is the stuff that breaks and then comes back together somehow or something like that.
Yeah. It's time. There's some time stuff going on with Dracula's spell. So like when you destroy the already destroyed environment, it reverts back to what it was like before it was destroyed the first time.
Oh, okay. So just keep smashing.
Yeah, and it's really important, especially on that third point, because on that third point in Central Park, that's like very tiny confined space. You want to destroy that as fast as possible to open up the whole field.
Yeah, because you're right. Yeah, it is pretty tight in that area.
Yeah. And that's the thing just dives in there and wrecks everything. Just immediately everything's destroyed. It's
dude,
amazing.
I just love just his regular rush, which, by the way, he can run for 5 seconds or something like that. So you can run pretty far. But when he just smashes down, anything destructible around you just crashes. Like
Yeah.
any walkway, any pillar, whatever. And I mean, you can run through Central Park and it's just destroyed. I love
Have you guys
that about him.
seen that you can like toggle off the push the button for him to sprint, and you can just turn it
Hold?
to where you hold it to sprint,
Yeah.
and so you can just press the button and he just slams the ground instead
yeah.
of having
That's how.
to.
Okay, that's how people do that.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
makes
that was a tip I read this week. I don't know if that was in our Discord or what, but
Yeah, that seems like the better thing to do is to toggle on the hold the run versus the press to run, so you can get those quick stuns.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I was pretty much just, I just hit it twice real quick, and he'll do it. Like, cause again, I play on PC, but I play with a controller, and just tapping just R1 twice, he just, will do it rather quickly. But I'm sure he probably does it faster if you just hit it once and let go. He's just smashing immediately. Yeah. Because a lot of times that's what you're doing anyways. Like the only time I'm really running far is if, there's a couple people on the point, you want to knock them back and hit a couple people. Or usually you're just, even if you're fighting like a Hulk in front of you or even a Doctor Strange, just like hit it and hit it again real fast just to pop them up.
yeah.
You're just out there just brawling.
Yeah, they really nailed the character fantasy with them, I think.
Oh, yeah, they did, man. That's what I've been telling everybody, like playing with a controller with him. Like, I just want a Fantastic Four video game now. Like, give me the
Yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy game that came out, like story, give me that, but give me a Fantastic Four. And maybe let me play all the characters. I mean, I loved Guardians of the Galaxy. It was great playing as Star-Lord and just kind of having that be his story. But I think having a game where you could play as all the Fantastic Four would just be awesome.
Would be fantastic. Maybe.
It would be fantastic. So
I'm feeling that too. Just with this season, I'm reading some of the comics now, and that movie's coming out. I wasn't excited for it a couple months ago, but now I'm like, yeah let's see what they got.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Conrad, so your Human Torch. You have any tips for anybody that's struggling to understand that kit?
Yeah, actually, I do have a couple. The first thing I would say is, his primary fire is more of a shotgun, and it shouldn't be used at long ranges. He's a mid-range character that you want to be a little bit more aggressive with. You don't want to just be flying in the back. Fly low too. Your healers won't be able to see you if you're flying up too high. So go high just to put out flame fields. And flame fields can, when you're connecting the dots, those can be if there's a piece of building or any structure that cuts one of those lines, no one will burn in the inside. You won't take the damage.
Okay. Yeah.
And the last one I have for you is if you're running the team up and you remember his ult gives you 30% damage reduction and does about 70 damage in an AoE to people around him. So
When you pop it?
Yeah, when you pop it. So when you go to pop the Human Torch ult, use your team up and your ult, and you'll have like 50% DR and be generating health, and then go find the squishies. Or
That's dumb.
and then but that will also get you killed too. But that's how I do it. But no, his ult can also be used to put up flame tornadoes and entryways to stop people from getting back to the point. So
Which just looks amazing too.
It
Giant
does,
tornadoes of flame, like wow.
Yeah. Well, Matt, we didn't have you here last week when we were talking about kind of our early impressions. What are your thoughts on the Thing, Human Torch, Central Park, this whole patch?
I am not good with the Thing. I will tell you that much. Loving Human Torch. Loved every mission this week where I was able to play Human Torch, even if I think there was so much damage as him using the the meteoric,
the flame fields,
whatever it is, where you set the charges and then crash down and activate them. I loved that. I think there are some things that I would like to see changed about him. I think his what do you call it? Where he charges forward, the speed boost or whatever it is. That's really weird and not super useful in my opinion. I would like to see, and I think you might have mentioned this last week, I would like to see some more mobility with him, like Iron Man, being able to zip across the skies.
That's the only complaint I have about Human Torch is the speed, and I get it when he's not like flamed on, but once you kind of flame up, it's like I don't think he's fast enough. Where when you're coupled with like a storm that's kind of speeding you up, then I'm like, wow, this is how he should feel. Like he feels great with that speed boost. But when you don't have that, it's like, he just feels just a little bit too slow. But he is a lot of fun to play, definitely.
I think my biggest complaint with him has been his primary fire, like the little shotgun blast. It's so hard to hit. There's such a lag to it, and I'll like swear I hit something and it looks like it goes.
Yeah, I agree, man. Yeah, I've noticed that too. Yeah. And I noticed too, like the other day, I think, Matt, you were hopping on and I didn't have my controller hooked up. I was actually playing mouse and keyboard, and the Flame On felt better with mouse and keyboard than it does on controller. And I don't really know why that is. I mean, on controller, you're just activating it. And then, like, you're letting off the button and he's in it. But I mean, on mouse and keyboard, of course, you're hitting your shift and it just feels like more of a natural sprint. So I don't know what the difference was there either. I was like, I don't know why it feels better on mouse and keyboard.
Was that when you were having to talk me through how to link his...
I wasn't going to say anything, Matt, but yes, that was exactly what it was.
Mark, I'm sitting here and it's literally not letting me link these fireballs.
Matt was in the practice area and he just kept getting ultimates. And he's dropping the giant tornadoes, and he's like, they're not linking. And then finally, when we realized that, I'm like, dude, you can't link the tornadoes. Like, you can't be dropping your ultimate when you're trying to link these things.
It'd be cool if you could, though.
That would be pretty sweet.
That'd be insane.
Oh, and then I tried the way that it's supposed to be done, and I was like, oh, that's how you do it.
That's how it goes, yeah.
So, Conrad, you said if there's
in the practice range,
if there's something in between the charges or whatever, it doesn't connect. But it only just doesn't connect to that. It'll still connect.
It'll break the whole circle, right? So if you put up your flame fields in a way that like the lines on any of the 4 walls or 5 walls or however many walls, if that line is broken at all, the whole flame field is useless.
Oh, you losses it all.
Yeah. Besides walking and standing directly on a line, they'll take burn damage from that, but being inside won't do any damage. You know?
Oh, so inside does damage.
Oh yeah, dude.
Standing inside to 55 damage a second for everybody caught inside.
Like Neil, that's
in the area, not
that's
just
the most
wall.
fun with him, man. Is like they're on a control point and just create a square, and just boop, they're in there and they're just burning.
Oh, I thought that just like you don't want to touch the wall, so you just stay in there. But you
want to
damage
trap
while
as
you're
many
in there.
people, and you can make a really big one. You can actually the walls or the flame fields will connect up to 40 meters. So there's actually it's 40 meters. There's a little bit of elevation issues with it too. It only is like 2 meters high, so you have to be like flat ground, but it can go like 40 meters from any dot. So
that's amazing.
It's good.
You're speaking Neil's language. Neil is all about like the stats and the strategy. Love that.
Specifically meters.
Meters. Yeah, that's right. No meters here.
What's a meter?
No yards. All right, guys. Well, let's move on here. We got lots of news to talk about. So let's move on to our new segment that we call the Not So Daily Bugle News.
J. Jonah Jameson here.
All right. Well, as always, we have some new skins to talk about, of course, here in the game. And I know these had been revealed. I had seen these, almost like leaking a little bit early and was, obviously pretty sure that they were coming. But we have 2 new skins. So the Punk Revolution is beginning with Hulk's Punk Rage and Magic's Punk Child. And over on the Twitter, they said, unleash the chaos with Hulk's Punk Rage and Magic's Punk Child costumes. Whether you're smashing through the battlefield or bending reality to your will, these punk-inspired looks will make you stand out. So as of this recording, they're out. So you can go get these right now. What do you guys think? I mean, these were originally from... It was from, one of the Spider-Verse books? Is that what it was from, Matt? Do you know?
I don't actually know. I think these might be original to...
Spider-Geddon. That's what the Edge of Spider-Geddon, I think, is what at least the Hulk was from.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still haven't seen, like, you got the art up here. Does he look kind of ghostly in game? No.
Okay. That's just kind of how he...
I want to see what he looks like in game as the Hulk. You see all of his Bruce Banner, which in game you rarely see.
He looks like who's the I can't believe I can think of his name right now from Street Fighter. Blanca. Almost
Blanca
with like the big kind of, I mean, he doesn't have, his hair isn't as big coming down, but he does have a big kind of bushy mohawk coming down. Cool. And he looks pretty sick. What do you think of these skins, Conrad? Any do you buy a lot of skins in the game, or?
Well, okay, about that. So so NetEase has got to quit it with their skin game. Their skin game, because it's fire and my wallet can't take it anymore. I just bought both of those as well.
Nice.
They're good. They're really good. Yeah, I like them a lot. They've been doing such a good job with the skins. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Let's see, the Hulk skin, they say, embrace the rage and style as the Hulk's punk rage costume, first appearing in The Edge of Spider-Geddon 2018, #1. So I remember when that series was coming out, but I didn't actually read. Did you read any of Spider-Geddon, Matt? Do you remember? Oh,
Sorry,
be
I was
frozen.
taking care of somebody in chat.
Oh, yeah, the bot.
Yes, I read the first Spider-Geddon event. It was great going from Edge of Spider-Geddon into a big battle of I don't remember if it's the Cosmic Web or the Web of Life and Destiny. So I don't remember these specific because these guys are not the Spider-Geddon events are all about all the different spider sonas, if you will.
mm-hmm.
So that's where we got like the Amazing Spider-Man, which is Aunt May if she got bitten by a radioactive spider.
Nice.
And Marvel even did a contest where you could send in your own, and they picked a few and incorporated them into the comic. So if you're ever like, I just wish I could have more spider heroes, Spider-Geddon events.
Perfect.
That's
Great.
awesome.
Nice. Let's see the magic skin. They said on this one, if even the spider cannot save this fallen world, let Punkchild spark a rebellion. Reality has rotted. I will redefine the genre of life. Only those willing to fight will strike the right chord and rise above the chaos. This skin is sweet, dude. I love just like her hair being in front of her eyes, and she's got the these little like devilish horns. See, I don't play Magic though. Like that's the only thing where I'm like,
Maybe
really
you
like
should.
it, but
Yeah, you should. She's fun.
I probably
fun.
should.
I tried to learn her a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I'm only going to play Magic and Quick Play for like an entire week. And it was a moderately okay time. I was struggled quite a bit.
Yeah, she's not easy to play. I thought I was gonna.
No.
I decided to start an alt account to learn Magic because I knew she wasn't gonna be able to play. And it's like I'll get the diamond easy. I got stuck in gold for like a week. I was like, oh, this is rough character.
Yeah. So is that what you do, Conrad? Like, do you pick one hero in competitive and like just kind of stick with them to rise your way up, or do you actually like jump around to different roles or?
I reached GM2 using just Mr. Fantastic when he came out, and but then I wanted to diversify because he was becoming harder, and like he's easy to counter, like you could just do so much against him. So I decided I was gonna spread out and learn, but I didn't want to do it in GM2, so I created an alt account to grind up some characters, like learn Captain America and Human Torch, and I am pretty good at support already because I spent so many years doing it in Overwatch. But
Gotcha. What are you gonna say, Matt? Were you gonna say something?
I don't remember. Don't worry.
Okay. Okay. Let's see.
The
Go ahead.
Wrathchild version of this skin looks crazy good.
I don't think I've seen that. I don't
Yeah.
think I've seen the ultimate. What that
It's
looks
very
like.
cool. And I also looked up the Super Hulk or whatever the alt Hulk
Ooh,
is called for that other one. And yeah, awesome.
It is awesome. Dude, all the monster Hulks just look great.
Yeah.
Like even the Scar one is just it's so good.
Yes.
It's great. I'm still bummed, man. I don't even know if I mentioned it last week because I don't know if I had it at that point. I did get my Brave New World bundle from Regal.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, it's
Gray
nice.
or what?
I didn't have the Bucky skin, so it was nice getting that skin. But it's like, why did they not do the Red Hulk? Like, it's the
Well, I was
most
thinking,
obvious thing.
I was thinking about that because we have like when we think of Hulk, we think of like big green Bruce Banner Hulk, but he's not Hulk in the game. He's Bruce Banner.
True,
And
that's true.
So because they could do Amadeus Cho, they could put him in the game. They could do Red Hulk. So they could be just leaving that open for so to just not call him Hulk. We'll have all the different Hulks.
That's
and
true
call them
because
by
like
different things.
Space Knight Venom is technically Flash Thompson, but you never see Flash Thompson just in the game by himself. Where Banner, you actually play as Banner and then become the Hulk in the game.
he's
So,
Bruce Banner.
okay, all right.
I think it'd be weird too, like if they just made it a skin for Bruce Banner currently, it'd just be weird because he's supposed to be Thaddeus Ross, so it shouldn't be saying all those interactions between
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
That'd just
Be very weird. Yeah, that's true. The interactions would be like, what? Let's see. We also have some new Twitch drops, which I think they had announced us before we went live. Right after we went live last week. But if you are interested in getting some new Twitch drops, you can go ahead and do that. That campaign is running now. all the way until March 6th. So they got a couple different skins you can get in there. Or I'm sorry, there's a spray, the 2-in-1 spray that has the Thing and the Human Torch. That's for just watching 30 minutes. So barely anything. If you come watch us live, all you guys watching live right now, you got it. And then there's the Hella Great Galaxy emotes, and that's for watching for 2 hours. So no skin actually this time. It's just the spray and the emote. But I mean, we got some. I mean, technically we're in the season, but you already got some stuff for this season so far. But it's cool.
This was so easy because I keep Twitch up while I'm at work, just so I can do drops. And doing this versus the Overwatch drops, I was like, because I think if anyone else has done it, I think the max to get the skin, there are 5 different drops and it was 2-hour increments. So the top was 12 hours that you had to watch.
Whoa.
And I was just like, I know I'm not actually watching that the whole time, but I was like, just give me the free thing. Come on.
I mean, dude, that's absolutely what I do. I just pull up a Twitch video on my control or on my computer and then just go about my day. Just
actually,
mowing the lawn, like whatever, and just come back and like, oh, look at that, I got a new skin.
They do have the invitationals going on now, so that's actually something that is worth watching.
Yeah.
I think we just did the Australia one last weekend, and now they're going into Asia, I believe.
EMA, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Asia,
I watched some of that
Mediterranean?
last week. It was very cool.
Or
Good
was
stuff.
it Europe, Mediterranean, and Asia? Is that how it is? I don't know.
Yeah, so they're going all around the world. I think we mentioned that last week too. So
I think this specifically is like an Oceania, which is more Asia Pacific, and then Europe. Or I could be conflating that.
I mean, the
with
cool thing
Overwatch,
right
which I've
now
also been watching.
is every weekend we're getting
Yeah.
some sort of, rivals esport to watch. That has the casting, has all that on there. Conrad, have you been watching any of these invitationals or anything like that?
No, I haven't been watching the invitationals, but I'm definitely gonna tune in when it starts getting closer to the actual top games, because that's what I'm interested in watching. Is I'm interested in seeing the best of the best play.
Yeah, agreed. That's actually kind of pretty much what I did last time. Was just wait till the end. But it's still been cool. Like every once in a while, my phone will go off and be like, it'll notify me that the channel's gone live, and I'll just dip in for just a couple of minutes or whatever. It's just great to see, because right now, I mean, we're in the infancy, I think, of the esport side of this, and just to see the success that the game is having, and then even just the eyeballs that are getting on those matches, it's the more the better. That's what we need for this game to just continue to be a success. Let's see, they put out a statement this week, some sort of announcement on more third-party plugins. And in this case, they said they've recently seen the use of a third-party plugin known as Blitz. They said this program injects itself into our game process, giving users confidential information like damage and healing statistics. It allows players to selectively ban heroes, predict opponents' ultimate abilities, and more, severely undermining the fairness of the game. As such, they deem this program as cheating software and will no longer allow its use during gameplay. So fear not, though. People who used it previously, there will be no penalties as long as you refrain from using it. To uphold justice in our gaming universe and protect the integrity of of your account, we strongly urge you to refrain from using any third-party plugins. Together, we can forge a vibrant and heroic gaming environment. What do you guys think, man? I mean, they're just jumping all over this stuff whenever we've seen anything like this. I love to see it.
What do you think it means by selectively ban heroes? So you can see who the other team likes to play and do well with, so then you know who to ban?
I think it's either that or bypassing, or being able to bypass the ban system to get your pick through.
Yeah, allows you to selectively ban heroes. Yeah, I mean, I actually am not familiar with the program. I mean, we probably should have looked it up to see a little bit more if anybody in the chat knows. But I mean, yeah, from the way they describe it, you're able to see all the stats. And I wonder if that's what it is, Neil, where maybe it is actually allowing you to see the stats and what heroes the other team plays the best as. So it's allowing you to selectively ban the heroes that those people are good at.
So Conrad, as someone here who's actually gets to use the ban functionality, how does it work exactly? Is it a vote, or is it someone's deemed team captain and they get to pick?
It's a vote. You put your pick forward. So 6 team. So if one person picks a ban, that's 100% chance that band's getting picked. If someone else picks a different band, there's a 50% chance, and so on and so on. Right. So if you're the only person that wanted to ban like Bucky for some reason because he's broken, then there's like a 20% chance or less, or like a 15%, however it pans out, chance that Bucky gets banned.
Oh, okay.
So I think the bigger problem with that is, even besides that, is the tracking alt charge, because that's just pretty much cheating. That's a skill in the game that you have to develop. That game sense is important. You should know when support ults are coming online. You should know when your ult's going to come online. You should have these kind of things like memorized, and what you need. You should have a plan going into the next fight. It's like, hey, I know their support has ult. I'm gonna be aggressive here, and I'm gonna try to make them use their ult before they get to the point.
Yeah.
Starts next week, but I think that would be an awesome ability for Daredevil. Just put Daredevil in the game after we get that show, and that would be sweet.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. We also had this week the Amazon website updated. You guys remember you can actually go and get some Marvel Rivals merch over on Amazon, and they updated it with a bunch of new t-shirts. You can head over there if you want, and we are not sponsored by Amazon, but I just want to point this out because I think I actually have, I know Matt, you have it too as well, the Rivals hoodie. I think
we should be sponsored. We should set up
three times, dude. 3 times I've once at Walmart, once I was getting my oil changed, and another time just walking around the mall, I had somebody just say, "Hey, Marvel Rivals, you play Rivals?" So there's other Rivals players out there for sure. So
You start carrying around a business card too.
Millions.
Jeez, listen to the podcast.
well, we would have like 3 new listeners, right? But the interesting thing though about these shirts is there is one character, and if you're watching on YouTube or on Twitch, you can see it in the middle at the top. There is a Blade T-shirt on Amazon for Rivals that you can buy right now. Now, it is a picture of Blade that is in the event screen. So, just saying. It's not the Blade chained up in the map. But, what do you guys think of them basically having already now a Blade T-shirt for sale?
Cat's a symbol.
I think we might be talking about this a little bit later, but I'm really interested to see where season 2 goes, whether it sticks, like does a direct continuation of the story and like we'll get more into the vampire stuff, or maybe it'll do like an aftermath and okay, you saved Blade from Central Park, now he's a playable character, unlocked or something like that. But if they go that way and he's the next character, yes please.
Yeah.
I mean, without getting into spoilers, but that last comic book page you unlocked during the event, that pretty much the very end of that directs where season 2 seems to be going.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. But yeah, go over there. Like I said, if you guys are interested, I mean, they even have a Human Torch shirt up now. I mean, probably Jeff has the most merchandise, I think, out of anybody on there. There's even Squirrel Girl, Venom. They have a whole Fantastic Four shirt. Very, very cool. And again, you can go and sport yourself some Rivals gear.
Pro tip though, look at the materials because not all these shirts are made of the same thing. So this is Amazon print on demand. So they are literally just like grabbing a shirt off the shelf, printing your design as you place your order. So I believe just the plain black shirts are 100% cotton. It's not super comfortable. I have one. I ordered a Jeff shirt for science that is blue heather, and I think that's like a polycotton blend. But they list all the different colors and what material they are. So if you know that you're super sensitive to polyester, or you want, something or whatever, they'll break that down for you.
So for science, are you gonna like ball it all up and throw it over a cliff?
And
see if it comes down?
No, I'm just gonna wear it.
Because do you guys still have that happen? Like where the Jeffs are just like, does that happen like in the higher ranks, Conrad, like up in GM? Well, nobody's probably playing Jeff at that level, but if they do, are they still gathering everybody up and just I guess killing themselves and going over the cliff?
No, that doesn't happen nearly as much because one, you can react to the Jeff ult, and you can do a couple things. Like one tip: if you play Namor out there, you can use his ult to counter Jeff's ult. Because if you hear Jeff cast his ult, cast your ult exactly where he's gonna eat you people, and then he eats the group, and the ult hits him, and he dies.
Nice.
But
I could never make that happen in game, but that sounds great.
But people don't stack up as much. It still happens. There's still like big kills. It just hasn't happened as much. Jeff's in higher ranks, and the games I watch, because I watch a lot of like really good streamers, and Jeff's in their games, they they don't heal as much. They're
Attack Jeff.
annoying.
Yes.
They're annoying. In
They're
the bad
literally
time.
They're
like
insane.
Jaws.
I've definitely
yeah.
come up against the Attack Jeffs. Yeah.
The
murderous
Jeffs.
That's what they do, and that it's funny.
They knock you out with a smile, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's time. Let's talk some lore, guys. You want to talk some lore? All right. Well, let's move on to our lore segment that we call the Cerebro Files. All right. Well, last week we did not have a lore segment here on the show because we were, of course, giving you our initial impressions here on season 1.5. And Matt was not here, but Matt is back here in person. And as promised, bub, we're talking Wolverine this week, fellas. And he's been requested, one of the most requested characters, I think. And I mean, if you got to know who Wolverine is, right? I mean, Hugh Jackman has made this character just incredibly popular. Even before that, you can go back to the early, the X-Men cartoon from the early 90s. Wolverine is just ubiquitous with Marvel. Everybody knows who Wolverine is. So, but you may not know everything about him, and there may be some things that you want to learn. So, Matt, I'm going to throw it over to you, man. Tell us about Wolverine.
I usually like to go off the dome with these things, but I sat down and I tried to take organized notes because I've said this before about there's so much history of this character. Wolverine is like one of the most mined characters in comics. If you look at one of Marvel's characters with the most solo titles or the most recurring solo titles, Wolverine is one of them. There's something that writers love about the character. I was reading an article by one of the artists on the X-Men book from the 90s, and he was talking about how I can find the article and drop it in our Discord later if you're interested. But he was talking about how writing and drawing Wolverine and keeping it fresh is actually hard because of how many things have been done with him. Because over the years, every writer tries to find a way to kill him, and they got to get more creative because he's just this seemingly immortal character. Though, spoiler alert, he has died a few times in comics. But what I will do is give you a brief background, some highlights that we can discuss. If there's anything that you guys personally love or about Wolverine, or if there's a notable moment that you recall of liking the character, whether that's in comics, whether that's in any type of media, just holler butt in, because I'd love to hear it. Because I think what's cool about Wolverine is that we all have our different Wolverine spot, if that makes sense. So for me, it's I fell in love with Wolverine through the 90s animated series. And in the opening where he like strikes his claws and there's like the arc of lightning that comes off of them. And I was like, whoa, he's got electric powers. No, he doesn't. That's just an effect. But okay, so let's see. Well, first off, does anybody know Wolverine's real name? Who can tell me?
Oh,
It's in that Life of Wolverine Infinity comic. I know it is. I can't think of it right now.
That is
so
not.
this
the
is
answer.
another. This is another.
Which I recommend people read.
Is it James Howlett?
That
or
is
is that-
correct.
That's it. Yes.
Did you Google that?
He's got the wiki page pulled up.
Well, hey, Come
on.
I wonder if Alexa could tell me what is Wolverine's real name.
Today's Canuck Corner is Wolverine is Canadian, so we all know each other. I know.
Oh,
Right,
I
right,
know
right,
James.
right. Yeah.
That's
Good
right. You're
pass.
Canadian.
So yeah, Wolverine, Canadian, born James Howlett, and that was actually revealed in the early 2000s in a book, one of my favorite Marvel books of all time, Origin, which I will talk about. He was born to a rich family in the late 1800s, so he's old. Basically, through the manifestation of his powers, which, because I don't want to give too many spoilers away about this comic. When his powers manifested, he was forced to leave his family. and move across Canada to work in basically a mining town, if you will. And since then, he's just kind of lived a transient life. He's been a soldier, a mercenary, an assassin, an outlaw, a spy, a samurai, a circus performer, a teacher, a school headmaster, a horseman of apocalypse, and much more. Death basically follows Wolverine wherever he goes, whether that's caused by him or whether it's people around him who are dying. He's lost a lot of people who are close to him. Wolverine books are equal to tragedy. So unless you are in a very stable emotional spot, don't pick up like a Wolverine book unless you know that it's just like an action-packed romp. Like in May, we have Wolverine and Spider-Man, a limited series coming out. That'll be fun.
Ooh.
Unless something tragic happens. But hey, the comic art looks fun.
Nothing tragic has ever happened to either one of those characters ever.
Neither. No.
I don't know.
They're fine.
So he adopts the name Logan. Growing up in Canada, he wanders the world, experiences war, betrayal. He eventually meets, through some different events, Sabretooth, who becomes his arch nemesis, and spends a lot of time in Japan throughout some of the various world wars, where he becomes a samurai. But basically, because of his being a lone wolf, it made him kind of the ripe pickings for the Weapon X program, which resulted in him having his skeleton coated in adamantium, giving us the famous shank claws that we all know and love. Because, fun fact, those claws are bone. And they're just coated in adamantium. That was part of his mutant ability that manifested as a child. He breaks out of this Weapon X program and is wild in the Canadian countryside, and is rescued by Mac and Heather Hudson, who work for Department H. Think SHIELD, but Canada. That's Department H. That is not the topical cream if you have like hemorrhoids. That's something else. That is during that arc in his life, that's where he fought the Hulk. That was actually the debut of the character in the Hulk comic. And through that fight, when Hulk was captured by the Canadian government, they locked Hulk up, guys. Like, I mean, they're not all good people. I don't know. That put him on the radar of Professor Xavier, and who invited him to come and check out the X-Men. Spoiler alert, he actually joined the X-Men after he tried to assassinate Charles Xavier.
Whoa.
Because he had been brainwashed into doing it. Another thing, death kind of follows Wolverine. His brain is also basically Swiss cheese. When his powers manifested as a child, he began experiencing memory problems. And throughout his life, trying to calm this like bestial rage, a lot of telepaths have attempted to help him, trying to do a good thing. Others not so much. But in the comics, we see a lot of either Jean Grey or Professor Xavier trying to help either ease pain, ease burden, recover lost memories, help him figure out who he really is. Because at one point we get to he doesn't know anything about his own past because so much has happened up in his head. But
well, he's been around for a long time too, right? So
yeah,
hard to remember
hundreds of years at this point. Yeah. He's taken a lot of characters under his wing. Two of the most notable being Shadowcat, Kitty Pryde, and Jubilee. And there was one book, Shadowcat and Wolverine, or Kitty Pryde and Wolverine, I believe is the name, which is getting another volume later this year. And that takes place in Japan, where someone was trying to take over the mind of Wolverine, but instead took over the mind of Shadowcat and was trying to get her to kill him. And that's where Wolverine like trains her to be a samurai. Like he's like, oh no, we got to do this quick because you have all this all this knowledge was implanted in her brain on how to kill people, but her body couldn't perform what her mind wanted her to do, if that makes sense. So he had to train up her body to be able to handle all this knowledge. And so the comic coming out later this year is another one of those, hey, let's mine a past event for more content. Like the Rogue the Savage Land book happening right now, taking a moment out of one comic, from 20 years ago and extrapolating on it.
Cool.
So he has a few different nemesis: Sabretooth, Silver Samurai, Omega Red, and one of my personal favorites, Lady Deathstrike.
Oh, yes.
She has the huge like blade fingers. And I mentioned earlier my Wolverine is the 90s animated series Wolverine. And my impression of Lady Deathstrike came from this too, because Lady Deathstrike was introduced as a precursor to the Phoenix event, which if anybody watched live, this was like such a cool thing because it was on Fox Kids, which was like, I guess on the local Fox channel, but Fox aired the Phoenix event in prime time. It was, they were taking big swings at this time. They did the same thing with like the second season premiere of Power Rangers. It aired across 2 nights in prime time, which was like a huge deal, knocking out other programming on one of the biggest channels on television.
Yeah, and the Phoenix Saga in the X-Men series is like 5 episodes too, isn't it? It's long.
Yeah.
It's not just like a 2-parter. I think it's 5 episodes.
Yeah.
So yeah, they really did that good.
I believe they did an episode a night, every night that week.
Wow.
If I'm remembering correctly, I could be not correct. In which case I have a very creative mind.
You have
my mother
Wolverine's
said,
brain.
Swiss cheese, right?
But my favorite's Gouda. So that's a very, very quick and dirty on Wolverine. There's no way that I will be able to tap into everyone's favorite Wolverine story. He has so many solo books, so many volumes of just like the Wolverine title that I went into, after like compiling my favorites, I went into Marvel Unlimited, sponsor us, and I pulled up the character list on Wolverine, and there was just all this stuff that I hadn't even heard of.
Yeah.
Like there's so much.
I don't know. I think I mentioned it earlier in the show, but I would want to recommend to folks, if you do have Unlimited, because I think I said this in our post show last week, the Wolverine Infinity comic that they have on Marvel Unlimited. It's 10 issues, covers like the James Howlett early days as a child and goes all the way up to, I don't know if it's Krakoa stuff, because I think it came out either right around that time, but it kind of hits all those major story beats throughout that, and it gives you a great history of Wolverine. It probably is the best Infinity comic they have, I think, from all the ones that I've read, because it's way better than Jeff's comic, of course. But
Not possible.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jeff's is getting printed physically. I don't hear that nothing about Wolverine.
But anyways,
on a T-shirt, I heard.
Yeah, he is.
That's right.
I don't see Wolverine.
He's got more
on
T-shirts.
Amazon T-shirts. What a scale of fame there. But before I jump into comic recommendations, anybody got a Wolverine memory or like your first interaction with Wolverine that you want to share?
One thing that I kind of learned about this week was just the background of him being created as a character, coming into that Incredible Hulk couple issues there. Marvel was trying to reach out to other nations, kind of thing, to give them their own characters to see. So they did the UK because they had Marvel UK going, so they did Captain Britain there, I think, and then they're like, okay, well, we need a Canadian. Let's speak to the Canadians because they're buying our comics too. So that's kind of where that sat. But then it was quite a little while before anyone kind of got back into it, right? Because that was in the 60s. Then it wasn't until the 70s where someone's like, hey, this guy seems pretty cool, let's do it. So I thought that was kind of interesting because he ended up becoming such a big character after just being like, let's see if it sticks. The other part about him too is that he was very mysterious, I guess, at the first little bit, and that kind of drew people in. They're like, who is this guy? What is his background? He doesn't even know he's got Swiss jeans for braids. So that was a lot of people were like, okay, give me more and more and more and more of that. And then, as you said, Matt, they gave everybody everything and more than they wanted about it. So they've this list of essential comics that I'm looking at is most of this page here, because there's so much you can dive into in different eras, different storylines that and they've redone the origin, as you said, and there's just so much here. So very popular character. Obviously he was one of the faces of the cartoon that you're saying in the 90s, and he those first two X-Men movies, it was this guy's awesome. I loved it. And X2, I believe, was when they went back and saw like the origins of it, because there was another movie as well, but that had the
we don't
lady...
talk about X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh, okay, that was that lady Nightstrike. What'd you call her? She was in that movie, right?
Deathstrike.
Yeah, a very Kelly Hu did a great job with what she was given, but not a very, I don't know.
Yeah, so not your Lady Deathstrike.
Not my Lady Deathstrike.
I mean, for me, man, because I was, I started collecting comics around 1990. So like, I was what,
1900s?
1900s. I was alive then, Matt. I was. But like growing up down the street from a comic shop, and with the X-Men cartoon on TV, like X-Men was everything. I was there for the relaunch of the just X-Men book. I mean, behind me, if you're watching, and there's one of those comics on the wall, is X-Men #1 from that when Claremont came back. So when X-Men 25 came out, that was like the big thing. And Matt, I think, mentioned it, but that is the issue where the skeleton gets pulled out by Magneto. That was like all the talk at my school. Like they did it, and it was crazy when that happened. So like for me, that's like the one memory that I will never forget. Like everybody at the comic shop was like talking about like, oh my God, like, can you believe they did this? They did it. And then learning, he had the bone claws at that point. And then the other thing that I really remember, like not knowing until I saw this character, and I was like, is that Wolverine? Was like just seeing a Weapon X book for the first time. And then learning all about that whole thing, like with Weapon X, and that's what essentially we learned. Then puts the adamantium onto his skeleton, and then you learn everything with Deadpool and Omega Red and all that, and kind of how that's all involved. Like that's a whole side of Wolverine's just history that is very cool to learn about. And the Weapon X character, I just love. When you see the images of him like in the test tube, and like he's got the the helmet on with all the cords and everything coming to him, it's cool. So that would be pretty sick if they could come up in this game with a Wolverine skin where it was as if he busted out of the like Weapon X tube, like fresh out with the helmet on or whatever. Like that would be wild. That would look cool.
Cool.
Conrad, what was your first experience with Wolverine?
I'd have to say it's I wasn't much into comics when I was younger, but the X-Men movies would probably it. Hugh Jackman, and I'm not surprised to hear that he always goes through tragedy. I think it's something with like immortal characters. Like we don't want to see them happy,
Right?
They're not allowed to have all that. Yeah,
he can't rest until he is really resting.
Yeah, it's crazy.
My first was the same as kind of Matt and Conrad of the cartoon. I remember that moment with the claws coming out, the little zap zap, and then Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. And if we're in comics, I didn't start reading until quite a bit later, but right now this week I've been reading House of M. And
nice. So
Wolverine has some great moments in that, and it's incredible for Magneto as well. But Old Man Logan is probably it's not our Logan, but it's alternate Logan. But the stories from Old Man Logan are some of my favorites. And kind of the from the Avengers, what's the one with all the Primal Avengers or whatever?
That's Jason Aaron's run on
Avengers. Is that Avengers Legacy? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
something like that. There's a part of that where like it's in the future, and it's like Thor's daughters are like searching for the Doom, I think maybe,
Yeah.
or Mephisto. And then
Ooh, I love that book.
yeah, and then Logan's there at the end with the Phoenix Force, and so that's one of my favorite moments, even though it's a newer story.
One,
Well, I hadn't read that one in a second. That you like, I need to go back and look at that.
Yeah, it's so good. The art is amazing too.
one cool Wolverine story I just read recently was Ultimate. I think it was Wolverine versus Hulk, or Ultimate Hulk versus Wolverine. And this was from like 2006 or 7, so it was kind of the older Ultimate run. And it's 6 issues, little mini series, and it's basically like Wolverine going out to kill the Hulk. And the very first issue kind of starts with what is ultimately the final encounter of the whole miniseries. And basically, Hulk picks up Wolverine and tears him in half and throws his bottom torso 3 miles away. And like he's sitting there, he's like, "You bleep, like you threw my legs 3 miles away." And just seeing Wolverine sitting there with like just stuff hanging out, just like on the ground, is just like, this character is incredible. Like, he's awesome.
Think about the most iconic shots of Wolverine, and I promise I'll wrap this up. I think about like a shot like that, or the shot from Days of Future Past where the Sentinel blasts him and it like disintegrates his whole body except for his adamantium skeleton.
It's awesome.
Another iconic shot. The comic. Do you have this one, Mark? Where it's like the Khmer, the straight on like Wolverine face, and it's like the close up. I think it might be
It's
Wolverine
right there, right
#1.
next to the Wolverine helmet. Yep, that's
There we
the
go.
mini series #1. That's
Yeah,
Yep.
like such iconic images in comics. That gosh, he's just been through so much. Okay, so let's break down some books, and then I'll quit yapping. So first off, modern books, like super recent, Ten of Swords, or it's people say X of Sword, but it's not. It's Ten of Swords. The events about 10 swords in the Krakoa era of X-Men. It's
That's a
an
good
event
read, too.
series. Fantastic. If you don't know, Wolverine did wield a sword for a while, which was forged from a piece of his soul, and it's one of the only things that can wound him and avoid his healing factor. So he has to look out for it. So this involves like 2 more copies of it, because at different points in time, people found out about the sword and have tried to find it and use it against him.
Was this when he was a samurai? You said he
Yes,
was a
that's
samurai.
when the sword was made. Yeah. Also, Ultimate Wolverine right now, issue 2 just came out. Go read it. You want to read it. I could tell you the one thing that will get you to read it, but I'm not sure I want to tell you.
You got me so intrigued, dude. I actually was on my way to the comic book shop after you posted that, I think in our chat,
I'm gonna
probably
I'm
like
gonna
a
tell
week
you-
or 2
I'm gonna
ago, and I
tell you.
got sidetracked and was like, oh.
Because if I tell you, you'll
Don't
go
tell
pick it up. Ultimate Wolverine is the Winter Soldier. That's all I'll say.
Whoa.
Oh man.
So there's that. Go pick it up. Go read it, please. Okay, Wolverine, the original appearance, Incredible Hulk 180 and 181. Neil brought that up. That's his first appearance with the weird mask, his first original one,
Yeah.
where you can see his eyes and they're not like whited out.
Hmm.
I reread Origins and Origins 2 this week. Fantastic series. Origins, the original, I'm pretty positive I remember this correctly. I don't have the date in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it came out in September of 2001. So a few things going on in the world at that time. But Origin is the first time that we found out about some of the big past character revelations about Wolverine. It's set in the late 1800s. And first off, visually, it's a beautiful book, digitally painted by Richard Eisenove, written by Eisner Award winner Paul Jenkins, drawn by Andy Kubert. This would make an epic miniseries, like not even Yellowstone. What's the old 1923? Just an epic country haves, have-nots. story that is just beautifully written. Shows Logan growing up. He was born as like a sickly kid, mother with some mental health struggles that she's going through, father and who is trying to stand out amidst a family with a very demanding father who made all this money, and um, such. I can't stress to you enough to go read this book. Real quick, I just want to read something from the front page of it. The writer says, "For years, we've followed Logan in the desperate search for his past, picking up bits and pieces everywhere, from the wilds of the Canadian wilderness to the teeming cities of Japan. To many, Wolverine is Marvel's finest hero, but the best at what he does. But to all, he is our most mysterious. Genetics, environment, divine intervention. What incredible forces created this man, the world's greatest killing machine with a heart as big as the great outdoors?" It's everything you want in a book. Origin and then Origin 2. Go read it. The first piece of comic literature I feel that I ever read, that was like, this is more than just, picking up a comic. This is art. We've got 1998 run of Wolverine, which was bangers all across, but specifically issues 48 and 50, very good action story. Wolverine is with Jubilee, and they're searching for answers to his past, and they encounter this failsafe robot known as Shiva that is in the remains of the Weapon X program, and is trying to kill them. Basically, they go back to the old decimated place and have to fight this huge robot. Later in that run, issues 90 through 100. 90 is this sick, crazy battle between Wolverine and Sabretooth. Wolverine is trying to hold himself back from killing Sabretooth, trying to exercise all this control as Sabretooth is breaking into the Xavier School. And then in the next 9 issues, Wolverine is slowly transforming into a more feral person. Great art, great characters, guest characters, great writing, and a lot of Wolverine character development during this time.
Nice.
Ken's mentioned Old Man Logan, your post-apocalyptic Western, and I'm glad you have read it, Ken's, because I was going to recommend it to you. You'd love it. It spawned multiple volumes of the Old Man Logan title. There's Old Man Logan Berserker as well. Another great book.
Real quick, Matt.
Go ahead.
At that point, because obviously, if you're listening to this, I would assume you're a podcast listener. I would recommend, and this isn't even just for Wolverine, because Wolverine is a part of it. But if you like podcasts, the Marvel Wastelanders, it's hit or miss. There's some good in there. There's some bad. But if you listen to the whole thing as a whole run, I think it's worth it. It was cool. So if you go over on iTunes or on Spotify, it starts with Wastelanders Star-Lord, then there's Wastelanders Hawkeye, then Wastelanders Black Widow, Wastelanders Wolverine, Wastelanders Doom, and then it ends with Wastelanders. So it's kind of like the world of like Old Man Logan, where things have just gone to hell, basically. And Doom is kind of, he's not in charge of every area, but each story beat like with a specific character name has like 7 or 8 episodes, and it's their kind of contained story, but in the end they all come together in Wastelanders. Lots of surprises in there. The voice acting is great. It's a audio drama. It's great. It's well worth it, and it's free on iTunes and Spotify, so highly recommend listening through those.
Awesome.
There's also Wolverine The Long Night. The Long Night, Wolverine The Lost Trail.
Yep.
As well. 2 more excellent podcasts.
Similar things.
Yep.
Audio drama.
Yep.
Yeah.
The first season of that is 2 detectives. There's like a murder in a town, and these 2 detectives.
It's like True Detective.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out like who it is, and it's pretty much told through their perspective. And like the whole time, you kind of think like, okay, is Wolverine the one here that killed? Because they're finding people slashed up and all slashes in the walls and all things like that.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And I'll wrap this up real quick. A great arc, Wolverine Enemy of the State, from one of the X-Men books. This new leader of the Hand, so the Ninja Clan, They kill and resurrect Wolverine and basically exert mind control on him, use him against his fellow heroes, trying to kill as many as they can. Wolverine breaks free and goes after Gorgon, which is a name you might recognize if you're in modern comics, goes after him, the Hand, and Hydra. This is the most action movie action ever. It's an think like Mission Impossible in comic form. It's like an international book sprawling the world. Wolverine just traveling and fighting. Amazing art. And that arc is Wolverine, Enemy of the State.
Nice.
There's the Death of Wolverine, where, spoiler alert, he dies.
He did.
No.
I'm sorry. Ultimate X-Men number 41 from the original Ultimate Comics. If anyone has ever seen the last episode of Batman Beyond, I believe it is the one where they're finding out about, why Bruce Wayne hung up the cape, and it turns out he sat with, or was this the last episode of Justice League? I can't remember. The Royal Flush Gang, and there's the little girl who's the ace, and she's warping reality in Gotham City, and basically Batman has to either kill her, he's told he has to kill this little girl to save the city, and spoiler alert, he doesn't. She ends up succumbing to natural causes, and the city is saved. But I just remember that hitting me in the feels. And this is kind of like a similar thing. Wolverine is sent to take care of a child mutant who is not in control of his powers and is a huge threat to people. And you get to see a different side of Logan, and definitely a different side of Ultimate Logan.
Nice.
A few great different versions of him. Dark Claw, his amalgamation with Batman from the Amalgam comics in the 90s.
Oh,
Just look it up. Dark Claw, Wolverine as Batman. Let's be real. No notes. And in Infinity Wars, also known as the Infinity Warps event, Diamond Patch, where it is the version of him and Emma Frost combined. Super dope. That's all I got. If you want to know more about Wolverine, if you want to chat more, join the Discord. I would love to talk about it with you. I could go on for another hour about this, but I've already gone on way too long.
Wow. Well, there you go. Any final comments on Wolverine? Does anybody want to throw something out there? Do we know about our Wolverine in game? I think, Neil, you were going to do a little research on him. Do you know our Wolverine that is in Rivals? Do we have
the Tank Killer? Yes. No, I did play a couple matches with him too before, and lots of fun. But I did read up on his story in game. So just a quick recap of it. He's sitting at a bar in Krakoa drinking some flower juice or something, and Magneto shows up, and so he starts telling a story of what happened. Krakoa has been caught up in the time stream entanglement, and it actually, the whole thing gets transported to 2099. So it travels through to that chronoverse as a whole. So Magneto being the leader of Krakoa, which is like this mutant sanctuary, he starts allowing all mutants without a home or ones that got lost in the time stream to start coming into Krakoa, and then he gives Wolverine some flack for just helping out humans, and so Wolverine goes to tell the story of what he's been doing, and he has been keeping up with Black Widow, and she's running the Red Room. So he's been talking with her, and there's been something going on with Alchemax, I guess.
Yep.
So he's supposed to meet up with her, but he found out that she learned something and was at this Alchemax facility. So he started running towards that, and it ends up blowing up. and he runs into the wreckage trying to find her, and he ends up finding Captain America. And so he's talking to Captain America. It turns out Captain America was frozen and he just unthawed in this facility. So he's kind of fresh out of that, not knowing what's going on. Didn't find Black Widow, but he's told Cap that he would help him. He couldn't bring him back to Krakoa because he's not actually a mutant, but Captain America is like, okay, well, I'm friends with, what about my friends in Wakanda? And in this 2099, Wakanda is where our maps are, which are the space empire of Wakanda, or what have you. So so Wolverine has a way to transport there. And so they go to the embassy, and he's got these special beads, and he sends Cap off to be with the Wakandans there. So
and he gets a sick jacket.
Where it leads off.
Wolverine's got a sick leather jacket on.
Yeah. So we'll see where it goes from that. But
awesome.
Touched a little bit of everybody there. So
wow.
cool.
I think that's our longest lore segment, right? Our longest lore dump, I think, in there. The biggest dump. Yeah.
There's a lot to make up for after last week.
That's true.
If there's any character deserving of it, Wolverine.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely, man. All right.
And that's scratching the surface.
Well, we did get a message over on Spotify from BMW Mantis, and he said, "Hi, I'm loving the pod. Can you do lore on Groot?" So yes, BMW Mantis, and to everybody else who recommended Groot, yes, we are definitely going to do some Groot. So next week,
he's a tree.
Groot.
There you go.
Yep.
Do you just say I am Groot for about 5 minutes or something?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Matt's going to deliver it and in the tongue of Groot the whole time.
Grootinese. Yeah, that's true, right?
Yep.
Nice.
All right. Well, guys, let's move on here to our final segment, the part of the show where we get you involved that we call our what ifs. All right. Well, remember, you can always send us an email to rivalsassemblepod@gmail.com, or, of course, leave us a comment over on Spotify. But we got an email here. This one comes to us from Lee, and he says, "Hey, guys, my name's Lee, and I'm from the UK. I was thinking about how there is such a vast quantity of characters that they can add to this game, and it got me wondering if they will add Agent Venom as a skin instead of his own character. And we thought maybe the skin from the movie would be Red Hulk. Could they do something like an X-23 skin for Wolverine, but have the skin come with a different voice line, or Ghost Spider-Man skin? That way they can have the characters in the game, but without needed to use them or actually take up a new character slot. Interested to see what you guys think about this. Now, we kind of mentioned this, I think, earlier in talking about, I think, Conrad, you said it, like how weird it would be to have Thaddeus delivering those Hulk lines, right? Would be crazy. I don't know. What do you guys just think? I know we've kind of discussed this before, but
I think we just need new characters.
Yeah.
If not that they said they're doing 2 a season, like I think we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because those are all I feel like those are popular characters, and especially with the way X-23 she is actually now Wolverine.
She is yeah.
Laura Kinney Wolverine. With the way her Wolverine books are going, I think it's just a matter of time.
I think with the specifically like the Spider-Man and like the Gwen Stacy one is the most realistic one to happen, because of the uniqueness of like the kits they would have to involve.
Right.
Because the Spider-Man has that movement with the webs. Like, how many characters do we want to have that web? That's probably the more like in line. That's probably the more in line. Like, this character will get like a Gwen Stacy skin or something. So.
Yeah. Well, like I've said too, like, if they add Miles to the game, like Miles, you're bringing in electricity, you're bringing in the invisibility, like, so that's a totally different character, right? You couldn't just have him it's just a Spider-Man skin with the suit. We have.
But how cool would it be if eventually we have 6v6 spider people?
That would be amazing.
Spider-Geddon. That's the thing.
There's no like battle map at all. You're just like in space and you have to web swing.
Yeah. Bring it on.
Yeah, that would be sweet. Let's see. We got another one from Genghis Connor, and he said, "Not sure if it's just me, but Thing's Yancey Street charge is super hard to control on a PS controller. Yeah. Just a slight nudge of the stick causes a near 90-degree turn. Can anyone who's experienced this offer advice?"
Play somebody else.
Yeah, not really. It's pretty rough. You can turn on the the hold to sprint, maybe that helps.
Yeah, that could do it. I mean, for me, honestly, dude, I've had no problem with the punch. Like you just got to remember it's a wind up, and also you don't need to hold down the trigger once you hit it. Like I think at first I was thinking I needed to hold the left trigger down and kind of release it at the right time, but you don't. Just tap it, and he'll wind it up and just kind of keep your reticule. What I've been doing is kind of aim where they're going to be, not where they are. So that may be part of it. But I mean, if your issue is that it's causing you to turn 90 degrees, I mean, there's probably a way to adjust the sensitivity, right? Because I mean, the game, you can go in for every single hero and start playing with their settings. There may be a setting for that, or at least for him specifically with his camera. Maybe you can.
Yeah, it's different enough from MAGA that it's like I think I originally was trying to play it as like the MAGA charge. Or no, this is the
Are they talking about the attack or
sorry.
the
He's talking about
running?
the charge.
He's talking about the charge. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the charge.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was trying to play it like MAGA's charge when there's just enough difference to where you can't think.
Yeah, I think I'm sorry. I was thinking the wind up, the punch. But yeah, it does. So on a controller, you just kind of got to just don't hold your stick down. Like just kind of move your reticule just a little bit and let him run. Because I get what he's saying now. So yes, if you hold it down and like just hold to the right or to the left, it is very unwieldy. So just kind of tap in the direction and then let off the stick, and he's going to run in that direction, and just tap it again and let him go that way. If you're actually holding to that side, he's going to immediately run. But it is kind of like the MAGA charge, though. I think, Matt, like it is on a controller. It is a little.
Yeah, it feels very similar.
Yeah.
What about Reinhardt? Similar?
Kind of, not really. Reinhardt is a bit more. It's like Reinhardt doesn't move when he charges. You know, like it's tough to get him to turn. Whereas like Thing, it's like you're the one, like Mark said, one slight touch of the of movement and you're going to be running into a wall.
Just don't hold
You can run into a circle with the Thing. Yeah, people do
Yeah.
that.
Okay, who'd
Well,
win? Who'd win in a fight, the Thing or Reinhardt?
The Thing, his Earth Shatter can't be
Yeah,
blocked.
he can go through the shield.
There you go.
He goes under
with
the shield.
perks now. Have you checked out Reinhardt's perks?
I have not. No.
Are we talking just right now, or are we talking stadium perks? Because I'm waiting on the stadium perks. That's what I'm waiting on.
Reinhardt can fly. No, I don't know.
Let's see.
That would make sense.
That would be awesome. We got another one. This one comes to us from Toast, and he says, "Is it just me, or does the ping system feel weird? I feel like my pings almost never go off."
I agree. This happens to me all the
Does
time.
it really? I don't think I've
I
had
think
Neil,
it's
did you-
because I've changed my.
Neil, did you change
default
your pings?
settings. I try. I don't know. And even I go to check my buttons to see if my ping button was if I set it, and it's by character too. It's weird. I think I talked about this before, but it just doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. I hit it. Doesn't happen.
Nothing happens at all.
Yep.
Huh.
I just think the whole ping system is broken because I swear no one uses them.
yeah, you're right about
my
that.
pings work fine.
My pings work great, Conrad. I don't know about everybody else's, but mine are working great. Mine work good for sure. Let's see. We got another one from Ali G. And they said, "I love this podcast so much. Was wondering your opinions on how these new heroes will shift the meta and what y'all's mains are. Also wanted your thoughts on something that could turn duelists towards strategists. Maybe a character could deal damage and can heal that amount of damage. I personally think that Rogue would fit in this spot because of her power involves draining." So
If Rogue isn't a Vanguard, I don't want it.
Oh.
yeah, I mean, she's pretty tough, right? She's strong, man. That's one thing you kind of forget about Rogue is like, I mean, you see her in the comics, like she's picking up buses and like throwing them. Like she could go toe to toe with the Hulk practically.
Wow.
But
Conrad, what's your main?
I main Mr. Fantastic. I have about 45 hours on him. I would have to say though, in terms of shifting the meta, I think the Thing is going to have a much more obvious and fast impact than the Human Torch. I think the Human Torch needs some time to be worked out a little bit by the community. But the Thing is just like, he's just good. That immovable thing, you might not notice it, but it's having effect all the time. And he's really good, I feel, in dive because you can you could use your jump in to go with if your Hulk goes in, you follow him in with the Thing, and now you both have DR.
Oh.
And when he runs away, now you can hit your shift and you charge and get out, and you're giving 200 health. You know, his punches give him 50 extra shield too. The Thing is, and his ult happens so fast, you can't react to that. I'm sorry. Yeah. The thing is good.
it's awesome.
The thing is real good. Human Torch needs some time to work out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of Invisible Woman, especially this week. And the synergy between Invisible Woman and Thing is really good, I feel. Because you're getting some of the armor protection from him. He's got the armor protection from you. I've been doing so many boops this week in Central Park. Just booping people off the map because Thing is, corralling them over there and then just like boop, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And
You booping it.
I feel like that's my main right now.
Nice.
I don't think I have anything else to add. Other than that.
So in this question, he says something that could turn duelists towards strategists. Maybe a character could deal damage. Okay. Because he says maybe a character could deal damage and can heal that amount of damage.
Right. So I think he's thinking like what my mind goes to is priest was the type of priest in World of Warcraft where you deal
Paladin?
damage to heal your team. Is it
a discipline priest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
they deal damage to heal. You deal damage and you heal your allies.
Oh, okay. So it like kind of forces you to stay aggressive almost.
Right. Yeah. Because the more damage you're doing, your team is getting healed for the same amount or for a.
Okay. So
portion of
what
it
if
or
they
whatever.
like a character similar to like, let's say Doctor Strange, you know how you have to do your damage and then you have your big burst of damage that comes out. What if it was similar to that where it's you damage, and then you burst and instead of damage the enemies, you're healing
I like
the
that.
people around you.
I think
So, like-
Mantis is pretty similar to that with her headshot
Yeah.
mechanic, where you get to land headshots to restore your resource to heal. Because
Mhm.
a lot of DPS players flex the Mantis when they needed support, just because you can absolutely carry a game doing damage on Mantis, and you just landing headshots, doing massive amounts of damage, giving people damage boosts. Super good character. Yeah.
Let's see. We got another one from Ninja with Two Guns. Great name.
Whoa.
He says, hey guys, love the pod. Just wondering today, what are your thoughts on allowing the new characters to have a trial period where you cannot play them in ranked matches, but you could in other game modes? As always, thanks for the entertainment, and I'm looking forward to this week's lore dump, as I like to call it, the lore score. Hashtag lore score. So,
Matt, thoughts? Lore score?
Lore score?
you scoring it.
It's better.
You got to
than
give
what-
an alternative.
It's better than you're dumping it.
Score.
I don't want people to Google my name and then the first thing that pops up
Lore
are poop
dump.
jokes. I mean, come on.
I-
guys.
Kind
do
of what
think
I'm
if you
working
Google,
towards.
If you Google our podcast, there is like if you just Google Rivals Assembled, there is a like AI transcript, and it just says it's like the third one down. It just says Matt's dump.
No way.
And
And yes,
No way.
and that's right. We forgot to mention that. If you go to Spotify actually breaks the podcast up into chapters using AI, and one of the chapters is just Matt's dump.
What was the question again? What was the question from the viewer? What was the question from the viewer? What was the other question?
So the question is, and they do this in Overwatch, and I remember us talking about this before the game or before the new hero started
Did
coming
you
in
just say
the
they
game.
do this?
Yes, they do.
Dump. That when the characters come out, will they immediately be available and competitive? And of course, Rivals has just decided yes. Even the maps, right? They're immediately into competitive. Where in Overwatch, they always hold off for a little bit before they do that. What do you think of this, Conrad? Of them just immediately putting these heroes in?
Yeah, I say just immediately put them in. It's a different game than Overwatch. Overwatch doesn't have a ban system as of right now, and that's a big thing that Marvel's got going for it right now. If the character is too much, ban it.
Yeah.
easy.
Well, and I think the one thing that I've, liked, I mean, I was one of those people before this game came out that was, give me the roll queue. I want the roll queue. But I've gone a complete 180 on that. And I think it's like, you know what? If you have these heroes that go in there and they're either broken or whatever, either learn to react to it or, of course, in the higher levels, ban them out. Like, that's this game. That's what this game is. That's what they're shooting for. And I just love that they do it. I think it's...
Yeah, that's something. If any of you have ever looked at videos like, hey, how do I get better at this game? One of the consistent themes throughout all you can look up is like, hey, you have to carry yourself out of these lobbies. You have to be the difference. You can't just expect your team to do stuff.
Yep. Let's see. Next one comes to us from John. And he says, I know some of y'all were into the other hero shooter that had a league. Would you all be into Rivals as an esport? If so,
He who shall not be named.
do you have any hopes for when it eventually happens? I personally hope they nurture and support grassroots to build something, though, he says, I'm sorry, OW's original goal of having participants be paid well was absolutely a Chad move on their part, and I'd like to see that continue here. So he is mentioning or bringing up the Overwatch League. So when Overwatch came out, they just immediately announced the Overwatch League, had people buying teams for what, $20 million or whatever it was, had
Ridiculous.
TV deals, paying their players annual salaries, health insurance, all that stuff. Like, it was pretty incredible at the time when they did it. Obviously, it didn't pan out, I think, as everybody wanted it to. But what do we think? Rivals is an esport. Or I guess the path they're taking right now. What do you guys think so far of what they've done?
I don't think they need to do it. I think it'd be cool if there were. But you have, like, Sentinels just announced that they just launched a Rivals team, and they're arguably one of, I think, like, the biggest name in esports right now. I could be wrong.
Yeah, they're huge.
But with the buy-in like that, I don't think that you need necessarily, this huge structure like Overwatch League had, although it was fantastic. And you could at one point, turn on TV and watch Overwatch League on TV.
Yep.
I think that what they've got going, especially for where streaming and where games are today, is great. The people who want to watch it will. You're not overstaying your welcome. You're not oversaturating the market, because I think ultimately, like, Overwatch League got too big with not enough return to justify having this much stuff.
Right. They're doing quite a bit now. They've got the invitationals going on. They've got the in-game tournament signups. But I thought they said before the game even came out that they weren't going to be doing stuff like that, and they were going to let the community do what they do, and they wouldn't be part of that. But it seems like they're putting on these tournaments. They're streaming it. They're pushing it. They're giving prize money. Like, people are making money in all these
Lots
tournaments.
of money.
And they're doing it. So maybe since it's such a big hit, they're like, oh, wait, maybe we should. Like, they didn't commit to anything right away, like Overwatch did, making all those teams, those movie or the TV deals. But now they're seeing that, hey, it looks like there is some money here. Let's get in on the ground floor. I know that Blizzard, I read that that book that came out, Jason Schreier, Play Nice, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And there was a whole section on that about how Blizzard was so upset that, GOM TV or whatever, the Korean esports scene, that they weren't part of it. That
StarCraft?
With StarCraft, yeah. So when they're like, okay, well, what do we do now? So they're like, okay, I guess we make StarCraft 2 and we get into it from the ground floor, because we don't want to miss out on that money again. And it looks like NetEase is seeing that, and they want to get, at least have their own thing. If there's more stuff that happens, I'm sure they're good with that too. But they're keeping the game fresh anyways to make it good to watch.
Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, I'm glad they're doing it, or letting it happen organically, I think, is definitely the right way to go. I mean, you look at, like, what is Valve done with, like, Dota, Dota 2. I mean, that when you see the Invitational come around every year and some of those prize pools, but the cool thing they do with that is it's actually, like, crowdfunded with the player base, right? I mean, I think is that pretty much how a lot of the Invitational, like, that prize pool comes, is, buy this bundle in game or whatever, and you're helping to support. And I know, I think Overwatch has even done that before, right?
That's what they were doing for the last few big Overwatch League competitions. It was buy in and get character skins, and that's my Sojourn skin right now.
See, I think that would be cool if in Rivals, rather than NetEase, like, get fully involved and put on this whole big thing or whatever, if they at least did something like that, where it's like, let's put some money into a pool that players are buying skins or whatever, let that go to the players, and then also have that help fund a better production because, I mean, we've talked about it before, dude. If they do a live competition somewhere and it's like the whole big spiel and it's someplace we can all centralize and go, like, it would just be awesome to be able to do that.
Yeah,
I went with my son to the Fortnite, the FNCS or whatever it's called, the big Fortnite championship in Raleigh, like 2 years ago. I'm not a Fortnite player, but like we were there all weekend long. We had an absolute blast, and it was like the world championships of Fortnite. It was just great. So much fun to be a part of that. It's fun.
I think live events would be key for this because like I go to DreamHack in Atlanta every year where there is Counter-Strike championships. This last year there was COD Mobile, which is weird. But like you think about like the ESL, they don't get a lot of viewers on like Counter-Strike streams anymore, but they were turning people away because there was so much traffic in that area. So many people wanted to watch Counter-Strike. Wow. And just thinking about having Marvel at, whether it's a convention, whether it's, I don't know if you need to go and produce your own separate event, but partnering with a big convention.
I was going to say, dude, San Diego Comic-Con and New York Comic-Con, just those two alone, just have a big tournament, a weekend long or week long tournament.
We want something in the Southeast. We want something.
I know, but I'm just thinking comic wise, like that's the place to start.
I think live events would be amazing. Me and my buddies, we went to the Overwatch Grand Finals back in 2020.
Whoa, nice.
That was great. The one in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania wasn't great, but the tournament.
And now we've lost all our listeners from Pennsylvania. Thank you, Conrad.
We've still got the people in Luxembourg.
The one guy. I mean, live events, esports is awesome. So please make it happen. We need to make it happen.
Conrad, you say that you like to watch the best of the best. So how do you do that? Just the streamers, and then they're just doing their own competitive runs kind of thing?
I do watch a lot of the top ranked streamers. I'm sure you're all familiar with all of them. Super Flats, all those guys. Some new ones that have been popping up on the Marvel Rivals community, like Japanese Curry, great Captain America player. Who else? There was there's a guy called Quackley. He's pretty decent at Mr. Fantastic. I've gotten a lot of tips watching him. So it's exciting to be part of this as it's coming up. All these new fresh talent showing up,
Yeah, that is one of the cool things. Like whenever you can get into a game like on the ground floor, it's just cool to just kind of see the growth of the community. And already, I mean, this game is getting just what seems to be a pretty awesome community. And I just can't wait to see where it goes. Let's see, we got one more here. This one comes to us from Karma. And they say, what do you guys want for the next season? Here are the options for your picks. So we know we got some teases, but let's go with just what they give us here. They say the Savage Land season, where everyone gets a savage skin with dinosaur bones. Do you want an X-Men season where we get Gambit, Cyclops, Rogue, Marvel Girl, Beast, and the final option is a symbiote season where we get Venom, or a Venom version of every character, and we get Carnage and Flash Thompson Venom and Venom Black Widow. And he said, well, I think there's like a bazillion more symbiotes, so there's like an infinite potential.
Everybody would have to get a symbiote skin. Let's be real.
Oh, that would be
including symbiote Jeff, who's jacked from the comics. Let's be real. I want it all. That's my answer.
Yeah.
I mean, the X-Men season, of course, would probably be a Krakoa season, I think, which would be awesome. I mean, we've talked about putting Cyclops in the game.
Yeah.
I think Cyclops would just be awesome. But
yes. The answer is yes.
Wouldn't a Savage Land season technically even be kind of a X-Men season as well?
Just give me a Savage Land map.
Yeah, maybe that's what you get.
And then give me like Sauron and like either Khazar or as characters, because they're not super powered. You'd get another flyer in Sauron with like the mechanic of Hulk where he's having to transform or whatever.
I think out of these three options here, the symbiote, I know, well, that's Ken's answer, but just because we can tie it into the game right now, right? Like I hope they kind of have not a linear path, but something that, okay, we have a whole bunch of stuff we can draw from with this first season and the maps that we have. It would be cool to just expand out, and maybe we go one way, like we've done the New York thing with the vampires, so that started. Now, well, we talked about Noel and going to Clintar. What else can we see over there? We can see more characters and more locations as well. I don't remember, did they say how many new maps would come? Would be 2 per season, or did they not give a number there?
That they didn't give a number on. They just said
Two characters.
Yeah, they've kind of committed to the two characters and just new maps and modes, I think is how it was kind of phrased.
Okay.
So, we'll see. I don't know, but I'm sure there's definitely some good things on the horizon. Because, guys, we're only, 5 weeks away from the next hero in the new season. So
Gosh.
Doesn't stop. Doesn't
never
stop.
stops. Well, again, if you want to reach
Can't
out
wait to play
us,
Dazzler.
yeah, reach out to us over on Spotify, or of course you can email us at rivalsassemblepod@gmail.com. Well, Conrad, thank you, my friend, for coming on the show, man. Love having
thank
you.
you for having me. I had a lot of fun. It was really nice meeting you guys. It was awesome.
Well, give a little plug for yourself and for the show, so everybody out there, if they want to find you guys and hear more from you, where can they find you guys?
Yeah. If you wanna tune into what me and my buds do, we have our podcast, Marvel Rivals Review. You can stream it on your podcasting platform of choice, and I also stream Twitch at twitch.tv/Conrad Guther. And you can come and watch me get mad. Blame my support.
In D rank.
Leading with tilt, bold move.
You'll see me lose it all. Yeah.
And then it,
I think I may be tuning into that actually, because I
That would
can
be
just
great.
imagine. That's hilarious.
I want some Mr. Fantastic tips, so I'll be checking that out for sure.
Sure.
That's awesome. All right. Well, as always, like I said, you can always find us over on Twitter at Rivals Assemble and on Blue Sky. And big thanks to everybody here for sticking with us here on Twitch and YouTube as we did the show live at Rivals Assemble Pod. Again, if you do listen to the audio version of the show, either on iTunes or on Spotify, be sure to leave us a review, leave us a comment over there on Spotify. And don't forget, view or vote in our latest poll. So what is the best map in the game? You have the Eastgard Royal Palace Domination map, the Tokyo 2099 Spider Islands Convoy map, or the Tokyo 2099 Shin Shibuya Convergence map. So go vote. You have until next week to do so. We're also going to be talking Groot next week on the show. And quick little self-promotion here I want to throw out. If you want to hear more from me, I was on DLC this week with Jeff Kanata and Christian Spicer. So if you want to hear me just talk some regular video games and represent Rivals over on their show, you can find that at just DLC. Search it out on the audio platform podcast service of your choice. So anything here at the end, guys, you guys want to throw out? Any tips, comments, whatever?
Don't
So
apologize for
Wolverine.
liking video games and comics. Have fun.
Yeah. I concur.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody, have a great week. And until next time, we'll catch you later. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right. So I said we're still live. I just
Awesome.
always just kind of wrap it right
Okay.
there. So
Yep. And cut.
and scene. Conrad, yeah, dude. Thank you, man, for coming on. That
Awesome.
was fun. For
No,
sure.
I appreciate it. I was really surprised actually that you guys reached out. I was shocked. I was like, oh. I was like, but, no, I'm happy.
Come on in.
I've been looking forward for it for weeks. Yeah.
I don't think I told you guys this, but I felt bad. Last week, what was it, last Thursday, Conrad messages me and he's like, "Are we still on for tonight?" And I was like, "Oh shit." I went back, I looked at like the message I sent him. I put last week's date.
Oh no!
But I said like next
God.
Thursday, meaning tonight, and we had already recorded. I was like, Conrad, I am so sorry, dude.
I
Like,
know it's all right.
oh, I felt so bad because I was
Because
like, I could just imagine myself in your shoes, just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do the podcast tonight. You know, a little nervousness, a little excitement or whatever, and then I'm just like, dude, like we're not.
It's
doing
like when my
this.
dad said he would come and take me for the weekend.
There it is.
Oh, there it is, the
I
Matt
know.
Debbie Downer. Womp womp.
I thought you were joining us last week too, Conrad. So you're not
Yeah.
alone.
Hey,
I have the most important question. What are your cats' names?
Miss Kitty and Boggle.
Love it.
Nice
Love
getting
it.
involved.
That's great.
Yeah, awesome. That's awesome.
All right, I'm gonna kill the stream over there, guys. So everybody, thank you
He's
again
gonna
here
knock out the stream,
for
guys.
tuning us. Yeah, we're gonna KO
We're
the
not
stream.
killing anything.